Hi, and welcome to Blind Sound Metal Memoirs with me, Ben Lindors. Today's episode is titled The Time I Snuck Into a Devin Townsend Concert. Before I begin the story, I would like to just point out that I'm a massive fan of DT, and I would never neglect to pay for a ticket, unless, like in this case, the show was sold out and it was my only option. Let me set the scene. It's 2017, and the Devin Townsend Project are in Brisbane, playing a show as part of their Transcendence Tour. Now, for those of you who don't know, Devin Townsend is the lead singer / guitarist of the Devin Townsend Project, or DTP. He has also been in the Brutal Strapping Young Lad, Ocean Machine, he sang for Steve Vai, and he's also produced the likes of Lamb of God, Soilwork, and Bleeding Through. I was at a friend's house having a couple of beverages and spontaneously decided to go to the show despite the fact I didn't have a ticket. Now, I've seen the DTP before, and usually I would have gotten myself a ticket, but due to the fact that I was studying at the time, I was not in a place financially to do so. I know, excuses. Luckily for me, all it usually takes is 3 or 4 beers for me to change my mind. I tried to talk my friend into going, but he was having his anus bleached early the next morning, so he couldn't make it. I'll protect his identity, of course, so not to embarrass him, and for the story's sake, we'll call him Jesse. Of course, I'm not a total dum-dum, so I checked online to see if tickets were available, and they were, so I figured I'll buy one at the door. What's the worst that can happen, right? So the next hour contained a walk to the train station, a rail bus because train lines in Brisbane are constantly under maintenance, and then an Uber ride to the venue. Finally, I made it. Finally, I'd made it. Of course, there was a huge queue going down the street to get in, so I joined it and waited patiently to reach the front. Once there, I approached the ticket bench and, satisfied with myself, asked for 1 ticket, please. The response still chills me to this day and is hard for me to think about without getting upset. Sorry, the show is sold out. Devastated, I walked down to the service station next door to find solace in some snacks, and lo and behold, who was there but the DTP drummer, Ryan Van Poteroon. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. I drunkenly explained my predicament to him, obviously thinking he would instantly take pity and offer me a backstage pass, but like the polite Canadian he is, he apologised and suggested I look for a ticket scalper. Now, in my inebriated state, I forgot to get a photo with him, which is something I regret to this day, and also kind of prevents me from proving this part of the story actually happened, but it did okay. I took Ryan's advice and hit the streets asking everyone if they had a spare ticket, but I couldn't find any, so I was almost ready to give up and head home. It was then that I noticed the security guard at the front door was not paying attention to who was entering the venue, but was kind of just hanging out talking to chicks. So without hesitation, I pursued the only option I had of getting in and casually strolled in. Holy shit, I'd made it. I celebrated by getting a beer from the bar and scoped out my next obstacle, which was getting into the actual concert area. I was stunned at what I saw. The security guard was not even checking tickets, he was kind of just holding the door open. So this was my chance. I sculled what was left of my beer and once again casually strolled past. Success! I'd made it in. The support band was just finishing and I was about to see the DTP. I do remember most of their set. I had saved money from a ticket purchase, so naturally that all went over the bar. I was smart enough this time to get photographic evidence from the pit. The blurry quality goes hand in hand with the state I was in. One thing that has stuck with me was how great the crowd was, and when they played Kingdom, it was an absolute treat. Now the story is not quite over. After the show ended, I returned to my friend's place for some much needed rest. It became evident that I had completely overdone it with the beer, so I vomited all over my pants. Luckily, my friend Jesse is a good one and looked after me, putting my pants in a plastic bag. When I awoke the next morning, I had little recollection of what had happened and was confused as to why I was wearing no pants, but I thought, hey, I'm at Jesse's place and that's just something that happens. I drove home, walked inside, and when my wife looked at me as if to say, why the hell are you coming home from a night out with no pants on? The events of the previous evening all started coming back.